Hello, my name's Alex Connell and I'm the Principal Tutor at the Cordon Vert Cookery School, which is based at the Vegetarian Society in Cheshire. Today I'd like to show you how to make a simple vegetarian dish. I'd like to tell you how to make a delicious broccoli cheese casserole. Really easy to make, but you do have a few separate parts to it. You've got the cheese sauce, you've got the broccoli and cauliflower, and you've also got a stew of chickpeas, tomatoes, onions, garlic and a little bit of mixed herbs. And we're also going to top this off to give it a good crispy topping, some nice breadcrumbs. But the first thing to do is to make the cheese sauce. Really simple to make. Basic ingredients: you'll need some milk, a good strong cheese grated, and a little bit of butter and some flour which will thicken it. Really straightforward, but you do need to follow a few tips. The first thing to do is to put in your butter into a pan and just allow that to melt for around about, I'll take about 30 seconds or so. And to that I'm going to add flour. This is just ordinary white flour. You could use wholemeal flour, any flour at all, but not corn flour. You would use a different technique if you're using corn flour. So once the butter's melted, we'll add the flour and we'll cook that off for about 30 seconds, 30 seconds to a minute. Now it'll get quite sticky and that's what it's supposed to do, so don't worry about that. Now the butter's melted, we can add the flour. Just sprinkle it on and keep stirring. So this is the basic roux. This is the thickening part of many sauces. So this needs to cook for approximately 2 minutes or so. That should be about right. So I'm going to add the milk now. Just gradually add it in and keep stirring. And what will happen is it will start to thicken up, and that will be the basis for your sauce. If you want to add some pepper in there, give it a bit of bite, or paprika. As you can see that the sauce is starting to thicken nicely. So you can add a little bit more milk. Keep stirring all the time. The sauce is thickening nicely. There's no lumps in there at all. Perfect sauce. Add the remaining of the milk. Keep on stirring. Of course, if you do get lumps, you can always cheat and throw it for a sieve, so you know, it's not the end of the world. So that's the basic sauce, and of course we're going to add lots of nice cheese. You can add any cheese you want. In it goes, and I think that's probably enough. So as the cheese melts, the sauce will be ready. Now we've made the cheese sauce, the next step is to make the casserole. So we've got the chickpeas and onion, garlic, tomatoes and a few herbs. So heat a little olive oil in your pan, and to that we can put in the onions, let these cook for 2 minutes or so, just to soften them. They are going to go into the oven in a moment, so they will continue to cook, so we don't have to be overly fussy with these onions. The next thing to do is to pop in our garlic, not too much, just around about a clove. Obviously if you want to put more in, or you can put smoked garlic in, that's nice. Or some smoked paprika. Allow the onions to cook for 2 minutes until they're soft, and then we can add the other ingredients, which is the mixed herbs, everyday mixed herbs you've got in your cupboard, and tinned chickpeas. Just drain those under cold water and then add those straight in. If you use dehydrated or dried chickpeas, you do need to cook them thoroughly first, which could take up to around about an hour or so, or even longer, depending on if you use a pressure cooker or not. So I would recommend that you use tinned ones, but just drain them first. Now the onions are softened, we can add the remaining ingredients. We've got the tinned chickpeas that have been drained. In they go. We've got the tomatoes, and we've also got just ordinary mixed herbs. In they go, around about a teaspoonful in there, and let that cook for about 10 minutes or so. So it starts to, it starts to get soft, starts to look nice, and that's the end of that stage. Now the chickpeas and the tomatoes are cooked, it's time to assemble the casserole, which is the next step. So in go the chickpeas and the tomatoes, and that'll be a lovely rich base. There's plenty of protein in there as well. And then we can put our broccoli, which has just been cooked, just been steamed for 2 minutes, just to start it off. And we've also got our cauliflower, so we put that in between. Again, it's been steamed for just 2 or 3 minutes, just to start the cooking process off. There we go. And we've got our lovely cheese sauce. Over it goes. And finally, our breadcrumbs. Just sprinkle them on to the top, and that'll give a good crispy topping to our casserole. And finally, just put a little bit of grated cheese on the top, which will go golden brown and bubbly once it's cooked. Absolutely delicious. Pop that in the oven for about 30 minutes or so. And now the broccoli cheese casserole should be ready, so I'll just lift it out of the oven. Wow, look at that. Got the broccoli, the cauliflower, the cheese and the topping. It's bubbling away, absolutely gorgeous. The smell is fantastic. And that's how to make broccoli cheese casserole.